Check, 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 check. Hey guys, let me know if you can hear me. Just wait for a bit. Yeah, how's it going? Let me know if you guys can hear me clearly. Yeah. Okay, perfect. I think you guys can hear me clearly. Beautiful. How is everyone doing? How is everyone doing today? All good? Yes, yes, yes. We'll just wait for a few more seconds for people to join and then we'll begin. I think the last, so weirdly, the last session we did, which was the BJP manifesto session, was actually very good. I think a lot of people actually liked that live. A lot of people appreciated it. So it was something that was really interesting. I didn't expect such a beautiful response last week, but it was good. Yeah. All of you guys can hear me clearly, right? So let me just take the audio mic back. Beautiful, beautiful. We'll just wait for a few more seconds for us to start, and until that, we will just wait. Let me just set up everything. Okay. Cool. Okay, I think we'll just start. I think before we go into what is the agenda of the session, first let's look at what's happened with Nifty today. I think that is more important. Let's look at the Nifty graph. Yeah. Awesome. So, I mean, basically, this is what Nifty is doing. Auntie Shabda Madbadi. Huh? Okay, I think you can see my screen now, right? Yeah, so basically this is what Nifty is doing, right? Nifty has been operating in this beautiful channel for a very long period of time. And every time it goes down below this channel, it's kind of pings back up straight back into oblivion, right? So now I think from, oh, it's not visible. How is that not visible? I can see it over here. Black screen. How is that possible? 1 second. For me, it's showing that trading view is on. 1 second. Let me just check. Yeah, trading view is on, guys. Why you guys? Okay, now it's visible. Okay, did it take some time to actually load up? Maybe it took some time to load up. No problem. Fine. No issues at all. Okay. 1 second. Let me keep this playing in the background. Yeah, so basically this is the channel that Nifty is operating in right now. Okay. It looks like a very beautiful channel. It's going up in a very nice thing. If you see, it's up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So whenever the market goes below 22,000, it starts becoming a good buying zone for us. I think even last time when it went slightly below 22,000, which was this range, okay, over here, when it went below 22,000, this was when I had suggested that this was a good time to start buying or good time to accumulate, because it didn't seem like the market is in a bad position right now. Yes, every time it starts going up, we have some new trigger coming around. And I think the last time the trigger was the Israel war that was happening. And now we're again going up and going down, right? So mostly it looks like, from what I can see, we should hit 23,000 very soon before taking the next pullback towards 22,500, right? So I think 23,000 is going to be a very good level going forward. So again, market seems very bullish right now. There is no problem with the market at all. I think only the banking sector is slightly under pressure, as you can see, mainly because of what happened with Kotak Bank. I think all the people who are a part of the YouTube membership, I think Pratham had put a beautiful video about Kotak Bank and what exactly happened with them. And it was not something that was out of the blue. They were giving a lot of problems. And RBI finally said, you know what, boss, pause everything, right? So Kotak is having a small issue with respect to that. But again, Bank Nifty, overall, everything seems still bullish. And I think everything is going to react mainly after the election gets over. Now, I know everyone is focusing on 400, 400, 400, but I mean, if they just get majority, I think we'll be in a good zone, right? 400 is just to change the constitution, but I think if they just get majority, I think we're golden and the market will continue to do well. Coming to the markets, okay? How many of you all remember last week? Last week we did something very interesting. We saw in the manifesto, there was a very interesting thing that we saw in the manifesto. How many of you remember what we saw with respect to the energy guidelines? You remember the energy part we saw? So what do you think was happening in the energy space from what we saw in the last guidelines? Right? Obviously, it was very good. For all the people who haven't seen that last video, should go see it. But energy space definitely is doing really well. Nothing wrong with that. And because of that energy space, yesterday I think there was a news that came out. Have you guys heard of IREDA? How many of you all have heard of this company called IREDA? Yes, we said that Adani will definitely start doing well for sure. JSW Energy is going to do well. Tata Power is going to do well. KPI Green was the small guy who would also do well. Prithviraj is saying yes. Okay. So IRDA is a very interesting company. Let me start this. It's called Indian Renewable Energy Development Agency, right? So it was earlier in the mini Ratna category. So government PSUs have different types of categories. I think now over the weekend there was news that it came out that it became a Navaratna category. Now there's another company that is also very similar to the Navaratna status. What was that company? It was in the railway space. No, not IRCTC. IRFC, I think. Yeah. I think, was it IRFC? Yeah, I think this was also in that space only. Okay, so basically, this guy gets Navratna status. So there's a very high chance now that with the Navratna status, that this guy does not have to pay tax. I mean, this stock does not have to pay tax, not guy, but this stock does not have to pay any amount of tax back to the government. That means all the funds and all the resources that should be with this company will be used back into boosting the energy space. Now, are you observing that it is very funny, or are you observing that it is very very close to the entire to the entire election getting over? Right before the election got over, they made it a Navratna status. There have been rumors coming around about exit polls, but I don't know what is true. But one thing is for sure, if there is a step being taken to change IREDA to become a Navratna status, then what do you think is going to happen? Because what I believe is now, with this becoming a Navratna status, they're going to funnel a lot of money into this agency, and this agency is going to funnel a lot of money out in the form of loans to the renewable industry, right, or the renewable energy space. Now, because of this funneling that is going to happen very aggressively, and in your July budget, you will see that we have a new ambitious target of another gigawatt, which is going to be much more, 500 gigawatts se bhi zyada hum karenge. Renewable energy will be much bigger, and then all the renewable stocks will start flying up. And I want to tell you that it's not even close to being over. A lot of people have commented on one of the YouTube channels and all, and have been asking that, Shashank, renewable energy trend has already gone up, all the stocks are expensive, is it still a good time to accumulate and all of that? I'm saying, boss, it's not even close to being started, to be honest, right? So IREDA is very interesting from a long-term perspective, sitting at good enough price to equity, good enough, slightly overvalued on the price to book. But this stock is going to fly on Monday because the news came out on the weekend. So this is going to fly on Monday. Coming to the other two small guys, okay? So before I go to the big guys and I talk about that, so KPI Green, something very interesting happened, okay? So KPI Green is constantly going up, okay? If you see this, KPI Green was constantly going up, and it has been a very, very, very big multi-bagger in a very long period of time over the last 3 years, over the last 5 years, mainly because whatever the management has been promising, it has been done. Okay, so whatever he promises is being done. Stock is slightly high on 74p, which is now getting adjusted, mainly because there was a problem with their results, and we will go to that problem with the results as well, right? Now, all of this is going up, very good. Quarterly results, as you see, this was a quarter-on-quarter growth driver. Okay, every quarter the revenue was going up, which is consistently, significantly going up. And in fact, in the December quarter, they also did a December to March quarter, which is in the last 6 months. They also did a very big QIP, which is a qualified institutional placement, where a lot of big people have come and entered this stock. Okay, very, very, very big people have come and entered this stock. But the problem that happened is, even though it was doing really well quarter on quarter and growing, this quarter suddenly everyone's hypothesis started wavering. Why? Because from 330 crores it came down to 289. The margins, even though the margins were good, the revenue started dipping and it came to 43, and the EPS fell from 8 to 7. So this created a small headache for all the investors who were holding KPI Green. Also created a small amount of panic for people because it started falling by 5%. Because this fell by 5%, other energy companies have also realized that, okay, maybe this will be a problem for the other companies as well, and that will fall. Now, ideally, the first question to answer here is, Shashank, why did this fall? First question to answer, why did this fall? Okay, so according to the news article that came out about KPI Green's founder, who came on a news channel and explained these results, he basically said that we are now moving away from small companies. We're getting orders from big companies like Aditya Birla, and that was true because we did see some order wins over here, because they keep posting their order wins. So we did see some order wins from Aditya Birla. So they're saying Aditya Birla has different payment terms. So even though we have we have the orders ready. We could not bill them in this quarter, is what the founder is saying. But we will definitely start billing them in the next quarter, and from next quarter onwards, this would go very well. Now, obviously, this gives me a small amount of caution, right? Why does this give me a small amount of caution? Yes, the founder has been correct till date. The founder has been doing well till date. He's been promising everything and he's been delivering it. He's got almost 50% year-on-year growth. And from the recent interview, he also said that we will continue 45% growth till 2030. And in 2025 also, we will continue our growth and we will hit all our targets, right? Now, from a long-term vision perspective, I don't think anything has been spoiled from this company apart from this one problem in this quarter. I would do a very nice wait and watch here, because this should be a one-off instance, right? This quarter result should be a one-off instance, because next quarter it should be back. Maybe the founder is right. Maybe that this time they could not invoice the clients very well, but maybe they can invoice in the next quarter. Now, another way to clear this BS is two things, okay? Or another way to clear this is two things. One is, as I told you, there was a massive QIB that happened, okay? And the QIB that happened, obviously, these guys raised a lot of money from all the big investors in the space. And these were not small investors. These were quite big investors, okay? And it's also who's who of the investing world. Let me just check if it is there here. See, these are all the order wins that they keep getting. So this is one company that constantly keeps getting order wins, right? Let me check. Just checking BSC to check where that document of QIB is. Okay, give me one sec. It's very interesting to look at this, because I have two thought process regarding all of this, right? I'll tell you what the two thought process is. I don't know if it's come here. They've also okay. Statement of deviation, qualified institutional statement of deviation. Okay, this is a better way to check. I'll tell you why this is the case, because number one, that if this is, it's not here for some reason. Okay, I'll find it. So basically the main issue here is that if they're doing really well and the QIBs or the QIPs who have invested are big guys, they would also not let the price fall too much, because then they would be in huge amount of loss. And they also can't dump everything in the market very easily tomorrow, because they've taken a fresh position now. That means there has been a lot of information shared to them that people like me and you will not get, and that they have a very strong visibility of the future. That is number one. So that is one of my bullshit factor, that I know the QIB has happened very close by somewhere here, and that is why I believe that the price will not fall quite drastically, right? That is basically point number one. Now, coming to point number two, why I feel that it is another interesting thing. If you look at the recent trades, you will see that immediately after the share price has gone down, listen to this very carefully, immediately that the share price has fallen down, we have seen that the promoter has started picking up shares. I mean, obviously in small quantities, 8 lakhs, 9 lakhs, but he's starting to pick up shares. And this is something that is again very interesting to see, because why would the promoter start picking up shares? He believes that this is a good opportunity for this to go on, and that is why he's slowly picking up shares again and again, right? So again, we need to see more and more options, because I want to wait for another few, maybe another 2-3 weeks to check. But for me, the hypothesis still remains, assuming that the next quarter result is also quite good, right? So this is definitely one company that is doing well, and we'll have to wait and watch in this company. Now, there's another company which I want to show you. I don't know how many of you have heard of Vari. Okay, one second. Vari Renewables. Now, this company, I don't know how many of you have invested in this company. How many of you have actually taken positions in this company? How many of you have actually taken any position in this company? Right? This is going like this. It's going basically like a rocket. Okay. Yeah. I would say be extremely careful. Be extremely careful. If you have got profit, I would suggest start booking some money into your bank account, but be extremely careful about this company only for two reasons. Okay. Number one, see, first of all, they own 75% of the company, which is great. Okay. And that means there's only 25% with the public. That means low float is going on. Okay. Low float means low liquidity in the market. Number one. Also, you would see Vari's ads coming in all the Star World, Star Plus, in all IPL. You will see Vari ads coming in at that point. The only why I'm saying it's a little scary is because they're trading extremely overvalued right now. So if I had to compare this company right? And let's say a simple comparison with KPI Green that is also in the similar space. KPI Green is trading at 12,000. This guy's trading at 28,000, which is fine. Doesn't matter. The P ratio of this company is 270. Even if I take forward P, it should still be around 200. The 200 P companies don't usually end well because it has gone up because of the hype that is going on in the market right now, and it has insane amount of hype. And if you're telling me that this company is overvalued, if you're telling me that this company is valued at 28,000 crores compared to a company like KPI Green, then why is KPI Green making 650 crores and this company is making 350 crores? Right? Unless there is some data to suggest that this 350 will become 700. Even if 350 becomes 700, your P ratio will go from 270 and come to 135. That's it. Even if it goes from 350 to 600, it comes to 135, which is P, which is still overvalued. So basically, if you're saying 270 times P ratio, this has to basically become 900 next year for you to say that this is coming up to 90 PE, which is still overvalued, right? Because why I keep telling you this, that it's very scary, because if this starts falling, it'll fall extremely fast. Because I don't know how many of you will remember DMart. When it came out, it started going up. It started doing really well. It went up till in October 21st, it went up to 5,300. After that, it didn't move at all. From 2021 to 2024, it has not moved. In fact, people who bought at this high are still waiting for this price to come back because they've not recovered their money yet and they're still in loss. The main reason for that is not because the sales went down. In fact, from 2021, the sales has only gone up. The EPS has also gone up. The sales, everything has gone up. The biggest problem was when you guys invested, the P ratio at this point in 2021 was 270, exactly what this company is doing right now. So because the company was valued at 270 and they were performing well, the stock price did not give any returns. The stock price said, boss, you wait. We are not giving you more and more returns on this. You need to start waiting now, right? This has to come down. It's still sitting at 121. It's not great yet, right? That is why in the last 2 years, it has given zero investor return, because you have invested at a very high overvalued position. So that is my only fear on this company, that it is slightly overvalued with 270p. Even if I take forward P, I think it's slightly overvalued. Okay, coming to the question of, okay, Shashank, if this is overvalued, what are some really good companies in the space that we should be looking at? Now, is everyone coming into energy space? Can I safely assume that energy space is a hot space? Yes. All of you guys agree that energy space is going to be a hot space. Then the three big players in the space right now would be your Adani Green, your Tata Power, and your JSW Energy. Do we agree that these are the three guys that are majority into this space? Now, JSW Energy is very bullish in the space. They've recently raised 5,000 crores to enter the market. And if you look at JSW Energy, if I do the charts, let me check. Yeah, if I show you all the companies here, okay. So if I look at JSW Energy and zoom out a little bit, JSW Energy is in a beautiful upward trend again, and it is currently consolidating right now. And this has also become a good zone, because this would be a good support zone for this, and it is in a good consolidation zone right now. So JSW Energy is a good company. That is, you can bank on this energy company that it will do well going forward in the future. Again, we will go a little more deeper into all of that, but this company will transform itself into becoming a good multi-bagger company. Give it another 5 years. This is a 5-year thing, but it should start doing really well, right? If you look at the power industry, I don't know how many of you will remember this, but in power industry, there's only there's 4 different layers, okay? The first layer is energy creation, which is like your KPI Green uses solar. Somebody else will use wind. I think JSW is a wind turbine person, right? So different types of renewable energy is used to make the energy. After that, we have companies, that transmission companies, which will take the energy from one place and then transform it to a grid, and then from there we have more distribution coming towards our cities, and then we come to the final consumption, which is people like me and you have light over here, right? So there's a big process for this entire energy to travel from from a remote area in, let's say, Rajasthan or Maharashtra, to actually come back to our house. Okay, so JSW is doing really well in that space. Tata Power is a game that is going to change everything very soon. Okay, I don't know how many of you all know this, and that is why Tata Power is blowing up like the way it is blowing up. Tata Power has come out and said that by 2045, we will be 100% renewable energy company. Today, Tata Motors makes most of its money from thermal energy by transferring coal energy back into normal energy. So we use coal. That is why our coal imports, we get pissed off when we have to import coal. We lose a lot of money. But Tata has now come and said we will not expand even a single, we will not put a single money into our thermal plants. We will not grow even a small bit of our thermal plants. Every bit of our money is now going into the renewable energy space. And by 2045, 100% of our revenue will come from the renewable energy space. And Tata Power, I keep saying Tata Motors. Tata Power is actually doing anywhere between 30 to 35% EBITDA, okay, on energy, renewable energy, which is massive. So if they actually reach 100% renewable energy by 2045, this will be one of the biggest growth stories that you will see in the next 20 years, right? You should literally read Tata Motors because it was Tata Power, because it was trading in a beautiful channel for a very long period of time, and then now it's just shot up. It broke the channel. It's just shooting up, and this will continue, I would say, as long as the theme of renewable energy is there. This guy will do well. They're into two things. One is definitely, okay, by the way, for all the people who don't know, Tata Power is actually into three things, not two things. One is, yes, your renewable energy, okay, solar, wind, all that they will do. Second, they're also a transmission company. Okay, they have something called EPC, okay, which is engineering, procurement, and construction. So they basically do everything for the government. Okay, the government just says, you know what, I will give you money. You set up everything. You do the engineering, you do the procurement of materials, and you do the construction as well. All three things you will do. Okay, so when that happens, they make more money from that side. They also get a lot of orders from government institutions as well. SJVN is what gives them a lot of orders also. And Tata Power also is, yes, they're also into EV chargers, as rightly pointed out, that they are also into EV chargers. So that also they do well. So this company is poised really well for the future. One more thing I wanted to say. I said three things. Have you guys heard of BESS? Remember when we saw the manifesto, we spoke about BESS, right? Which was the battery energy storage system, BESS. So Tata Power is now building one of the biggest BESS, which is a battery energy storage. Also is something that they're heavily focusing on, right? And that is something that they've also launched right now. I think there was an article that came out today about Tata Power where they basically said that they have, I think, launched it. So this company is again going to fly tomorrow, and it's another very interesting for you guys to look at. They are very close to their all-time high. Okay, they are very close to their all-time high. So any breakout from this all-time high is going to give them significant amount of bullish momentum again, right? So this is something that we need to again keep in our eyesight. Their borrowings are not way off compared to their revenue, so this is still in looking zone. Tata Power is one of my, what do you call that, dream bets for the next few years, I would say, in the energy space, right? Adani Green, I like this company because it is purely green. There is no if and but. They don't have thermal, they don't have anything else. They have got up and said, I am green. Adani Green is very good, but the only tension I have, which we all have the same tension, that one tension is there. Ki 2045 tak will he be there? Okay, will he? See, I know Tata Power will be there. Nothing is going to happen to Tata, right? JSW also is an industrialist that will be there. Adani, my only fear is I don't know if he'll be there for a very long period of time. So if I had to take a bet, I would take on JSW, Tata Power, and maybe KPI. Again, looking at what KPI actually does in the next few months, right? But Tata Power is something from what I can see, both actually, JSW Energy and Tata Power, because both are at an all-time high closure. I think this is going to give better returns right now because this is just breaking out. It's very soon. Okay, very close to giving a breakout, even from the RSI perspective. Yes, this is doing really well. So yeah, this is very interesting for me, right? IREDA also is something that is going to do well because IREDA, if you actually look at the valuation of this company, it is only 45,000 crores, which is nothing. If you're telling me that the Indian renewable energy space is going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry, then 45,000 crores for a single agency that is going to funnel all the money is going to be nothing, right? But very good question by Narayan Danak. Danak is saying energy is commoditized. Do you think in the long run it will give above average returns? Very good. So, India's target, I think, is 500 gigawatts. We're not even close to hitting 500 gigawatts. Please understand this. India's target for renewable energy is a big target. Now, again, I want to ask you a question, right? How many of you all have heard of governments coming and saying we will all become renewable energy? Why do you think that is the case? Why do you think people are saying that renewable energy is good, renewable energy is great, we all believe in renewable energy. Why do you guys think that? How many of you all feel why that is the case? I want you to think a little more, okay? Yeah, some of you guys might say, okay, that's because of sustainability. We have to save the planet. We have to save the world, global warming. All that is okay. ठीक है, वो सब, I mean, sustainable energy and all of that. All that is fine. But the real reason why people are irritated with this energy is because we have to import. India has to import, which is a very pissing off thing, right? I have to sit and import coal. I have to sit and import fossil fuels. I have to sit and import oil and gas as well. You think India as a country like importing coal, like importing oil and gas, paying dollars and actually taking this, that too, which is not in our hands? Tomorrow the Arab countries will just change everything and say, from today we will increase the price of oil. And you know they do that, right? OPEC nations, which is oil producing nations, they actually purposely reduce production so that to increase the price. They purposely create a shortage in the market. All of these things affect us as a country, right? Now India obviously doesn't want to import. We want to save as much of money as possible so that we can grow our own country even further. So that is why it is mainly the case, right? And that is why we have such an aggressive goal of 500 gigawatt, because the faster we reach 500 gigawatt renewable energy goal, the country becomes better and better and better, right? So that can be utilized for our own thing. Obviously we'll have better roads, better infrastructure, whatever, all of those things will happen. So that is why it is actually the case. Global warming and all is little on the marketing side. The real reason why everyone wants to reduce fossil fuels is so that they can save money in their own country, right? So that is why we're all bullish on renewable energy. That's why we also saw this new scheme that came out by PM Modi, which said ghar ke upar bijli, that solar panels on your roof. Now, imagine putting solar panels on your roof and every individual in India putting solar panels on a roof. And there's one thing that India loves, or India has abundance of, and that is your sun. We have sun unlimited, right? Every part of India has good amount of sun. We are a little blessed. The way I would see it, we are blessed compared to other countries. We have everything, right? We have oceans, we have sunlight, we have snow, we have mountains. We literally have everything in each part of India, whereas other countries are landlocked. They don't even have water for anything, right? They have to figure out how to get clean water in their own country. We don't have all these issues. We have good everything. So because we have all of these good things, I think we should be definitely bullish on the future and do really well on that. So that is what it is. Okay, now coming to another thing. I don't know if I should show you this. One second, let me just check. 1 minute. So yeah, how many of you are a part of this members community already? So yesterday, I want to give you, see, a lot of you guys keep asking me questions about how to buy, what to sell, what are you buying, what are you selling. All of that I cannot answer because I'm not a SEBI registered advisor. But at least I can tell you what I'm buying and with what reason and rationale I'm buying. So yesterday, I recently bought something from a swing trade perspective. If you guys want me to show you, I can show you. If you feel that is not interesting, of how I'm thinking about things, then you can let me know. But it was basically a Tata stock that I just took a position yesterday, waiting for it to actually go up, right? So if you want, I can show it to you. Okay, some people are saying show. Let me just log into it. Give me 1 sec. 25. Okay, I think you guys can see it, right? Yeah, so this is the position that is there. Okay, yeah, you guys can see it. Can you guys see it now? Yeah, this is the position. So basically I bought Tata Consumer. Now 2-3 questions. Okay, why did I buy Tata Consumer? I actually gave the entire reasoning and rationale in the community members group yesterday, but I can show why I bought this as well, right? So if you look at Tata Consumer, okay, a couple of things, and I will open this here. So this is Tata Consumer. Okay, this is my swing trading position that I got on this date, which was 25th of April is when I got May futures. I bought. Why did I buy May futures? I can buy cash. I bought May futures with a little bit of leverage. I could have bought options also, but then if I buy options, I'll get time decay, so I don't want it. The lot, I mean, to buy this was approximately 1.77 lakhs. And right now it is sitting at 12,510. So if I had to calculate that on my entire capital, I would say it's around 7.5, almost 8% returns. It was slightly more. It had gone up to almost 10% returns, but it's sitting at 7% returns in. Now, ideally, what I would always say is book profit at this time. I would also like to book profit at this time. but I believe that it has not moved yet. It is yet to move. I just got lucky by taking it at the lowest position. Why did I do this? Coming to the rationale from a technical standpoint. This has been a very strong support zone of Tata Consumer. Okay, it has come continuously and it has hit. So this way, one of my biggest advantages when it comes to support zone is what I like is that my risk to reward ratio is amazing, because I know that if it breaks this zone, if it breaks this 1081, I'm going to sell straight away. No emotions attached to it. I might take a loss. And if I see that there is a sharp downturn with a big candle coming across, then I will take a definite exit over here and I might book a small loss regarding this, right? But I don't see that happening, because if you see in the last 2 days, if I go into a deeper 15-minute candle, let me just show you. This is how the 15-minute candle looks like. Every time it went to this line, you can see that there is a beautiful buying pressure coming in. Every time it hit this line, there was a green candle coming. Again, next day it fell down. Again, the bullish momentum created. So it is very clear that people don't want this price to break, and there are buying momentum or buying liquidity sitting at this zone. So my zone is technically, in theory, safe. That is number one. And number two, my other thing was, boss, why did it even fall so much? See, the earnings came out. Okay, when the earnings came out, if you actually look at the earnings, it was not great. The earnings were not great, right? Now going back into fundamentals. Okay, now look at how I think. Okay, now if you look at the company, the earnings are definitely not great. If you see, the revenue went up, okay, the operating profit went up, but the net profit went down, and that is why it fell by 2.5%. But the net profit only went down because of this one exceptional item that came here of minus 216 crores. Now if you go into the quarterly report and actually read it, you will then understand that this minus 177 was actually a one-time expense, because they were doing an acquisition. Do you remember what acquisition they did? Do you remember what did Tata Consumers buy in the recent past? They bought two companies, right? Now I'll show you where this beauty comes from. Okay, you remember, you heard this company called Capital Foods. I hope you guys remember it, and you're reading the news about Tata Consumer buying the company, right? Capital Foods. I don't know how many of you all have heard of this company called Ching's, right? Ching's, obviously Ching's Chinese, so you might have heard. So they basically bought this company in this year, and because of that, there was some expense with respect to the JV expense. Okay, number one. Number two, if you come down and you look at the PPT that they have launched, click on the PPT, you will see one very interesting statistic. Okay, now we all agree that they definitely went up, the profit went up, operating profit went up, but only the net profit did not go up, it went down. Okay, both of us are in agreement to this. Now if I come down and I'll show you some interesting things. Okay, I'll just go to page 21. I still remember it. Okay, look at this page. They're saying that in the next year, FY24, okay, now they're saying if I had to go into projection, or if I had FY24 of this year, and if my Capital Foods and Organic India acquisition had come into this revenue, then my revenue would be 30% more. My revenue would be 30% more, but it did not happen this year. If it did not come in this year's book, when is it, or where is it coming? Can you guys tell me? If it didn't come now, where is it going to come next? It is going to come immediately in the next year's books. That means in the next 1, 2, 3, 4 quarters, you will suddenly see a huge jump in revenue. But again, let's not get excited, because revenue is not the whole picture. We also need to look at, was Capital Foods and Organic India doing very good, margins? Because if their margins were bad, then even if you grow your top line by 30%, your margins might be bad. It might affect Tata Consumer's bottom line. But apart from that, another thing that really interested me is Starbucks. How many of you all know Starbucks? I mean, obviously everyone knows Starbucks today. Starbucks basically has approximately 421 stores and doing extremely good revenue. I'm just trying to find Starbucks' thing here. Okay, 420 stores with extremely good revenue. And they have said that now we are going to increase Starbucks to approximately 1,000 stores. Okay, in the next few years. So if that happens, then obviously the revenue of this company is going to go up. And the way I'm looking at Starbucks, I think this is Tata Starbucks JV. Yeah. So look at this. They're currently sitting at 421 stores. Target to open one new store every 3 days to meet ambitious target of 1,000 Starbucks stores by 2028. And the revenue for this quarter grew by 7% and basically made 1,218 crores. Right. So Starbucks, again, I don't know, if I look at entire Tata companies right now, they're on this mad opening rush. If you look at Trent India, they're opening Zudios like this. And if you look at Tata Starbucks, they're opening one after the other, they're opening Starbucks like this. So looking at a fundamental standpoint, I again think my risk reward ratio looks attractive. Again, I feel that this is a positive compared to a negative. So I looked at the positive perspective. I looked at the positive from trading view perspective, and I have some indicators which also gives me some idea for both. So if there's one of this I use, okay. So this also gave me a long signal on the day I bought it. So this is something that I'm going to test because it has been 62% accurate on the trades of Tata Consumer. Some others have not been very accurate. This has been 40% and this has been again 40%. So again, not very, this has been 78%, but not given me any buy signal yet. But this has given me a buy signal. So I'm going to take this. Now, if you look at everything, I think my risk is very less. I also have a beautiful buffer here of approximately 12,500 in capital because my average buying price was 1093. It's only one lot. So if I see that there is a rejection happening or a sharp downturn happening and it starts going down like this, I will exit just before my stop loss, taking maybe 1,000 rupees, because obviously I have put some money into it, right? So I've put some of it into it. Now, good question by KG. KG is saying, why not buy in cash? You could have hold it longer. So KG, I do a lot of churning. Okay, I do a lot of churning with respect to, I buy and I exit at a swing, then again I buy, then again I exit at a swing. So I usually don't like extreme long-term holding structures, because yes, I can hold it for 1 year and this company would give me 20% return. Great. But if I do this multiple times, which I'm good at, then it gives me more returns than 20%. So in a year, I can get up to 40-50%. Yes, SBI card, somebody was asking, SBI card is still bullish for me. Still bullish for me. No problem at all. Right? SBI card is not doing anything wrong. SBI card is still doing well. Okay, this was the zone. It has broken out. It is doing well and it is going up. So there is no reason for me to doubt SBI cards at all in this space. It is slow going up. Right? This was the first level. So it needs to break this level. Next level is going to be this. Okay, so it's going to go till here, and that's when you can think about taking an exit. But again, all of this is good. Result came out yesterday. I'm not sure how the result was. We should check the result. I don't know how the result. Definitely should check the result. Oh, okay. Good and bad, weirdly. Okay, very weird. Because the revenues dipped, okay, from quarter on quarter dip is there, but they are not a company that dips quarter on quarter. So quarter on quarter, it's only been growing. This quarter it has dipped, but in a very weird sense, their expenses also has dipped, which is in a weird way good, which has suddenly given them a higher operating profit margin from 14% to 19%. And 19%, I would say, is what their average has been in the past. Weirdly, the result is good, and their EPS has gone from 5.70 to 6.97. So it's a mixed bag result. I don't know how people would take this. But because it was slightly undervalued, I think people, I don't know why this has gone down. That needs more investigation of 4,600 to 300. If it's not a very bad trend or it's a one-off, then I think it's okay. But if it is not a one-off, then this will go down. But I think this can go up tomorrow, and then I think then we can take an exit very clearly into that. Yeah. So I think that is it. Okay. So I think you guys got a very good understanding of the energy space, where Nifty is at. Again, guys, the reason I do these lives is just so that you start understanding a little bit more about where the market is, what sectors are doing well, and try to think from a different perspective. Don't get stuck in all that FOMO nonsense that you see all around the market. That is one of the biggest mistakes that you should do. People were thinking about buying Vari as well, which is sitting at 270p, which is, again, guys, be very, very careful about buying such things. Do not get back into the hype. Do not get into FOMO. For example, Roshan Jaiswal is saying, should I buy Vodafone? Understand what is happening with Vodafone. Don't just buy idea for no reason. Understand what is happening with Vodafone. There's something very stupid happening at Vodafone. The government owns 30% of Vodafone. They are raising money and they're asking more money from you guys as well. They're doing an FPO. That means there's going to be a huge amount of share dilution that is happening, right? Unless and until somebody comes and gives them a lifeline, I don't think Vodafone is trying to come back very aggressively. It is not going to do really well again. Okay, so again, no problem. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you guys like this session. I couldn't discuss proxy players for energy today, Karthik, because it would have been extremely long. But there are a lot of companies you should check out. Bajel is a very good company from a very good group. in the EPC space. So definitely go check out Bajaj and do some research on that. It is a lot of EPC companies are doing really well. Obviously, because if energy companies do well, then EPC companies will automatically start doing well. So that is the whole understanding of it. Okay. Again, see, Roshan is saying, should we buy Kotak? Just because something fell by 10% doesn't mean you go up and start buying. Not everyone does a comeback or a pullback. Understand the deep reason of the problem with Kotak. Kotak cannot solve this overnight. It is going to take some time. And Kotak is not a company that has been doing really well in the past. So I would not jump into it right now. Wait for growth triggers. It's so easy, guys. You just have to wait for one good growth trigger. If you see growth triggers are at an horizon, you start buying them. Or else you don't buy anything. Just wait for some growth triggers. Okay. Anyway, I want you guys to go back and enjoy your match. I think Mumbai was batting, so I think a lot of guys were still watching cricket. So please go back to your match, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys like this. Stay here like this almost every week when I come, and I will give you some new learnings every week, right? The objective is you spend 30-40 minutes, but you take at least one aha moment back, and that is what I'm happy about. I'll keep thinking of new topics to stir your brain and start thinking in a different perspective. Okay, awesome, guys. This is me, Shashank Udupa, signing off. Take care. See you. Bye bye. And hit the like button if you haven't. Yeah, thank you.